What if I told you you could own your dream home, keep more of your hard-earned money, and slash your annual property tax bill by thousands, all without moving overseas? In 2025, some states are practically giving homeowners a tax break jackpot. And today, we're counting down the top 10 states with the lowest property taxes in America, where your wallet stays fat and your stress stays low. From tropical island vibes to mountain escapes, you might be shocked at who made the list and who didn't. Stick around, because number one isn't just affordable. It's paradise. Number 10. Wyoming. If you think low property taxes only exist in tiny rural towns, think again. In fact, one of America's most stunning and wide-open states is kicking off our list at number 10. And it's a place where the views are priceless, but the taxes, well, they're barely a blip on your budget. Welcome to Wyoming, the cowboy state. Known for its sweeping mountain ranges, iconic Yellowstone National Park, and a lifestyle that's equal parts rugged and peaceful, Wyoming is a homeowner's dream for more reasons than one. Here, the effective property tax rate hovers around just 0.58%, among the lowest in the entire nation. That means if you own a $300,000 home, you're paying roughly $1,740 a year in property taxes. Compare that to states where you'd shell out over $7,000, and you can see why people are saddling up and heading west. But it's not just the low taxes. Wyoming also boasts no state income tax, a low population density, and an enviable quality of life for folks who love nature, clean air, and fewer crowds. Whether you're settling in a quiet ranch outside of Cheyenne, soaking in the charm of Cody, or living near the scenic Tetons in Jackson Hole, your tax dollars stretch much further here. Of course, it's not for everyone. Winters can be harsh, and distances between towns can be long. But for those seeking space, freedom, and financial breathing room, Wyoming proves you don't have to sacrifice beauty for affordability. That's why it earns our number 10 spot on the list of the lowest property taxed states in 2025. Number 9. West Virginia. At number 9, we're trading the wide-open plains of Wyoming for rolling hills, dense forests, and small-town charm. Welcome to West Virginia, a place where the mountains aren't the only thing that's low. The effective property tax rate here sits at just about 0.58%, tying closely with Wyoming, but with a completely different flavor of life. In West Virginia, affordability is the name of the game. Not only are property taxes low, but median home prices are some of the lowest in the nation, often under $150,000 in many areas. That means even if you're paying that 0.58%, your yearly bill could be well under $900. For retirees, young families, or anyone looking to stretch their dollar without compromising on natural beauty, that's a hard deal to beat. Life here moves at a slower pace. Think charming Appalachian towns, front porch sunsets, and neighbors who know your name. Outdoor lovers get a front row seat to some of the East Coast's most underrated hiking, whitewater rafting, and fall foliage, all without the overcrowded trails or tourist prices. Of course, West Virginia does have its challenges. Some rural areas face economic struggles, and job opportunities can be more limited compared to big cities. But for people who work remotely or simply value peace and affordability over hustle and bustle, West Virginia delivers in spades. Number 8. Delaware. Coming in at number 8, we're heading to the East Coast, but not to the pricey real estate markets you might be thinking of. This little powerhouse of a state packs a big punch for homeowners, thanks to one of the lowest property tax rates in the nation. Welcome to Delaware, where the effective property tax rate is just about 0.57%. Now, Delaware may be small, the second smallest state in the U.S., in fact. But what it lacks in size, it makes up for in financial perks. On a $300,000 home, you're looking at roughly $1,710 a year in property taxes. And if you're coming from a high-tax state like New Jersey or New York, that number can feel like winning the lottery. But Delaware's appeal isn't just about taxes. This state offers no sales tax. Yes, you heard that right. Combine that with its strategic location between major metro hubs like Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C., and you've got a rare balance of affordability and access. Live here, work in a nearby big city, and still enjoy a lower cost of living. That's Delaware's magic. Communities like Rehoboth Beach and Lewis deliver charming coastal living, while towns like Newark and Dover offer suburban comfort with easy access to everything you need. And for retirees, Delaware is consistently ranked as one of the most tax-friendly states in the country, making it a top relocation choice for those looking to downsize their tax bill without downsizing their lifestyle. Number 7. District of Columbia. At number 7, we're making a stop that might surprise you, because when you think of Washington, D.C., the first thing that comes to mind is probably politics, history, or sky-high housing prices, not low property taxes. But believe it or not, the District of Columbia boasts an effective property tax rate of just about 0.57%, tying it with Delaware for one of the most affordable rates in the nation. Now let's be real, D.C. isn't exactly a bargain when it comes to buying a home. Median prices here hover well into the $600,000 range, and in many neighborhoods, you'll pay much more. But here's the twist. Because the property tax rate is low, your bill stays relatively modest compared to similarly priced homes in other major U.S. cities. In fact, a $1 million property here might have a similar tax bill to a $500,000 property in certain high-tax states. Beyond the numbers, living in D.C. comes with perks you can't put a price on. World-class museums that are free to the public, an incredible restaurant scene, beautiful historic neighborhoods, and access to some of the most powerful career networks in the country. And while it's technically not a state, the district operates with its own tax system, which keeps property rates competitive despite the city's urban status. Of course, this isn't the place you move to just for low taxes. The high cost of living can quickly offset the savings for some. But if you're already drawn to the capital for work, culture, or lifestyle, the low property tax rate is a welcome bonus. Number 6. South Carolina. Sliding into the number 6 spot, we're heading down to the Palmetto State, a place where palm trees sway, the barbecue is smoky and sweet, and the property taxes are just as warm and welcoming as the southern hospitality. South Carolina boasts an effective property tax rate of around 0.56%, making it one of the most affordable states in the country for homeowners. Here's what that means in real terms. On a $300,000 home, you're looking at an annual property tax bill of roughly $1,680. That's hundreds, even thousands, less than you'd pay in many other states, which frees up more of your budget for what really matters, enjoying life. And South Carolina makes that easy. From the historic cobblestone streets of Charleston to the sun-soaked shores of Myrtle Beach, the state offers a wide range of lifestyles. Retirees love it here not just for the taxes, but for the mild winters, low cost of living, and abundant golf courses. Families are drawn to its growing suburbs, while outdoor lovers can explore the Blue Ridge Mountains or kayak along the coastal marshes. Another perk? South Carolina's tax system favors homeowners, especially on primary residences. Thanks to generous homestead exemptions and assessment limits, many full-time residents enjoy even lower effective rates than the already low statewide average. Of course, like any state, South Carolina has trade-offs. Hurricane season along the coast can be a concern, and summers get hot and humid. But for many, the blend of low taxes, beautiful landscapes, and southern charm makes it a winning choice. Number 5. Louisiana. Cracking into the top 5, we're heading to a state that knows how to celebrate life. With music in the air, spices in the food, and savings in your pocket. Welcome to Louisiana, where the effective property tax rate is just around 0.55%, making it one of the most homeowner-friendly states in America when it comes to annual tax bills. Here's what that means. On a $300,000 home, you're paying roughly $1,650 a year in property taxes. That's far less than the national average, and it's thanks in part to Louisiana's generous homestead exemption, which significantly lowers taxable value for primary residences. For full-time residents, the savings can be even sweeter than a plate of beignets in the French Quarter. But Louisiana offers more than just low taxes. It's a state rich with personality and culture. From the jazz clubs of New Orleans to the bayous of Acadiana, from the Mardi Gras parades to the spicy crawfish boils, life here is vibrant and full of flavor. The cost of living is also well below the national average, meaning your money stretches farther on everything from housing to groceries. Of course, living here comes with considerations. Hurricanes and flooding are real risks in certain regions, and insurance costs can be higher as a result. But for many, the cultural rewards, friendly communities, and unbeatable property tax rates far outweigh the drawbacks. Number 4. Nevada. At number 4, we're trading the lush bayous of Louisiana for the glittering lights of the desert. Welcome to Nevada, a state famous for Las Vegas, Lake Tahoe, and landscapes that stretch into infinity. But for homeowners, the real jackpot is the effective property tax rate of just about 0.50%. Let's put that into perspective. On a $300,000 home, you're looking at an annual property tax bill of around $1,500. That's less than many Americans pay for a single month's rent. And here's the kicker. Nevada also has no state income tax, so residents get to keep even more of what they earn. Life in Nevada can be as fast-paced or as laid-back as you want it to be. In Las Vegas, you've got endless entertainment, world-class dining, and a thriving job market. Head north to Reno or out to the peaceful desert towns, and you'll find quiet living with jaw-dropping mountain and canyon views. And for outdoor lovers, Nevada delivers in spades. Hiking at Red Rock Canyon, skiing in the Sierra Nevada, and boating on Lake Mead are all part of the lifestyle. The state's property tax system is designed to keep rates low and predictable, thanks to caps on annual increases in assessed value. That means your bill is unlikely to suddenly spike. A big relief for homeowners on fixed incomes or long-term plans. Of course, desert living comes with challenges. Summer heat can be extreme, and water scarcity is an ongoing issue. But for those looking for a mix of tax savings, lifestyle variety, and sunshine almost year-round, Nevada hits the sweet spot. Number 3. Colorado. Sliding into the number 3 spot, we're heading into the heart of the Rocky Mountains. A place where the air is crisp, the scenery is breathtaking, and your property tax bill is refreshingly light. Welcome to Colorado, where the effective property tax rate hovers around just 0.49%. What does that look like in real life? On a $300,000 home, you're paying roughly $1,470 a year in property taxes. And thanks to Colorado's unique tax laws, including its Gallagher Amendment legacy and current assessment limits, the rate stays low even as property values rise. That makes it especially appealing in booming cities like Denver, Boulder, and Colorado Springs, where home prices have climbed, but the tax bills remain surprisingly modest. Living in Colorado means being spoiled for choice when it comes to lifestyle. Skiing in Aspen, hiking in Rocky Mountain National Park, exploring craft breweries in Fort Collins, or just enjoying 300 days of sunshine a year. It's an outdoor lover's paradise. And while certain areas have a higher cost of living due to housing demand, the low property taxes help soften the blow. Another perk? Colorado's property tax system is straightforward and predictable, making it easier for homeowners to budget long-term. For retirees or remote workers looking to settle down with stunning views out their back window, this is an easy state to fall in love with. Yes, winters can be snowy, and traffic in the Denver metro can test your patience. But for many, the trade-off is worth it. Low taxes, a booming economy, and endless natural beauty? No wonder Colorado soars into our top 3. Number 2. Alabama. At number 2, we're heading deep into the South, where the pace is easy, the food is comforting, and the property taxes are among the very lowest in the nation. Welcome to Alabama, where the effective property tax rate averages just 0.39%. That means on a $300,000 home, you're paying around $1,170 a year in property taxes, a fraction of what you'd pay in most other states. Combine that with Alabama's relatively low home prices compared to the national average, and you've got one of the most budget-friendly places in America to own a home. Alabama offers a little bit of everything. Gulf Coast beaches in cities like Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, historic charm in places like Montgomery and Mobile, and vibrant college town energy in Tuscaloosa and Auburn. For retirees, the combination of low taxes, warm weather, and affordable living is hard to beat. For families, the lower cost of living means more room in the budget for vacations, hobbies, and savings. One of the biggest benefits for homeowners is Alabama's generous homestead exemption, which can lower your taxable value significantly if the property is your primary residence. This is especially valuable for seniors, who may qualify for even greater reductions. Of course, summers here get hot and humid, and certain areas face the risk of hurricanes along the Gulf. But for many, those are small trade-offs for a state where your dollar goes farther, and your tax bill is about as low as it gets in the U.S. Number 1. Hawaii. And here we are, number 1, the ultimate champion of low property taxes in 2025. A place where turquoise waters meet golden sands, where lush mountains rise from the ocean, and where the sunsets are so beautiful they feel unreal. Welcome to Hawaii, paradise on earth, with an effective property tax rate of just 0.27%, the lowest in the entire United States. Now, before you start packing your flip-flops, there's a catch. Hawaii's home prices are some of the highest in the country. Median prices often top $800,000. And in certain islands, well over $1 million. But here's the magic. Because the tax rate is so low, your actual bill is surprisingly modest compared to similarly priced homes in high-tax states. That million-dollar beach bungalow? In Hawaii, the annual property tax might be around $2,700, less than what many people pay for a modest home on the mainland. Life in Hawaii is more than just a postcard. It's a lifestyle. Morning swims in warm ocean waters, farmers' markets bursting with fresh pineapple and papaya. A culture deeply rooted in aloha, respect, kindness, and community. And for retirees or remote workers who can afford the housing cost, the low property taxes make staying here far more manageable than you might expect. Of course, island living comes with trade-offs. High costs for everyday goods, limited space, and a slower pace that's not for everyone. But for those who value beauty, peace, and a sense of connection to nature, it's as close to heaven as it gets. That's why Hawaii reigns supreme at number 1 on our list of the lowest property tax states in 2025. From the wild plains of Wyoming to the shores of the Pacific, these states prove that owning a home doesn't have to mean drowning in taxes. And in the right place, it might just mean living your dream.